Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Guys, we've just seen Conor Benn win a unanimous decision against Sebastian Formella. Great performance. He did what he had to do against a very tough, durable guy, a game guy. He put his punches together. I was really impressed with his performance. I think he looked very, very good against a game guy, against a guy that went the distance with Sean Porter. That guy is probably one of the toughest guys I've seen. So tough, just like he was taking so many punches. And he didn't go down once. He didn't look wobbled in the fight. He was so tough. But Ben definitely showed improvement. I think I've been a bit skeptical about Ben just because I think I've always felt he's a bit wild and he throws his punches wildly, and you always thought when he steps up he's going to struggle. I still think that he may struggle as he steps up the levels. But I do think that he's showing improvement, which is obviously a good sign. And one thing he's said at the end, which I really like, is the fact that he said that, you know what, I've got everything. I've got everything. I was born in silk pajamas. I've got everything that all these fighters crave. But yeah, I'm still getting up. I'm still going through the hard spars, the hard runs. I'm smashing everything. And that shows to me that it's not about money. It's deeper than that. He wants to be a star. He wants to be a top fighter. And that hunger can take you a long way. He may not be the most talented guy. And here's the thing about Josh Kelly and Conor Benn. He wants to fight Josh Kelly. I think Josh Kelly is a lot more talented than Conor Benn. When you look at the two, he's a lot more talented. But Conor Benn is very, very hungry. He wants it. That's not always good enough to get you to the next level and get you to win at top level. I think Josh Kelly is a level above in terms of his talent and skill. However, I have seen Conor Benn improve a lot. And Josh Kelly's got a style, right, where it's like he relies a lot on reflexes. And if you stand off him, he'll pick you apart, and he's very skillful. The problem is with Conor Benn. Conor Benn is a bit like a Sean Porter type of fighter. Obviously not as good, but he's like a pit bull. He keeps coming. He's tough. He's got a great chin. He throws wild shots, and he seems like he's got a bit of dig on him. I don't think he's that big a puncher. A lot of people were saying this kid went 10 rounds with Sean Porter. Sean Porter himself is not a big puncher. Sean Porter is not the biggest puncher. He never has been. If you look through Sean Porter's resume, apart from Berto and Malignaggi, who are way past their best, if you look at all the fights that Porter had at world level, he never really got any of them out of there. I think the fact that this guy went the distance with Sean Porter, I think obviously that performance and the fact that Conor Benn won every round just like Porter did, was definitely an emphatic, great performance, because it showed a former world champion in who Sean Porter had a similar type of performance with Formella, and Conor Benn did just a similar job. So, you got to give him respect with that performance. It was a great performance. However, there's a lot of tougher tests. Conor Benn says he doesn't want any other. There's a lot of guys at welterweight that, could be tough fights for Ben in domestically. But I think the fight that I think everybody wants to see is Josh Kelly. Now, Josh Kelly, for me, is an exceptional talent. I think he's a great fighter. However, we saw him against Ray Robinson when he came up against a good fighter. He did struggle. However, Robinson is a very, very good boxer. Don't get it twisted that just because he got that draw, and a lot of people thought Kelly lost that fight. I thought he lost. However, don't get it twisted. Ray Robinson is a very, very good fighter. He's no joke. Ray Robinson's no joke. He's a very, very good fighter. And Kelly was jumping in against somebody that was very good very early on. I think he was kind of pushed in that fight. I don't know whether that was a bit, too early for someone like Josh Kelly to be put in there with someone like Ray Robinson. So I don't think we should be too critical just because I think Ray Robinson is a very, very good fighter. I think the Kelly and Ben fight, I think Ben has shown enough improvement that in another 6 months' time, that I think he's ready for a fight with Josh Kelly. I'm not saying he beats Josh Kelly. I would say Josh Kelly, for me, would be the favorite in that fight. However, I don't think Ben is one to be overlooked. I'll tell you why. Because like I said, I think stylistically, Ben could cause Josh Kelly some trouble just because of the fact that he's got that pitbull style. If you let Josh Kelly, if he tries to box Josh Kelly at distance, he's going to get picked apart. However, if he makes it a dogfight and closes the distance and get up on Kelly's chest, I think it's a tough fight for Kelly. I don't think it's easy. even though I would pick Kelly to win, I think Conor Benn is fits for anybody just because of his style, his toughness, his hunger, his determination. Those things can't be overlooked. There's been many guys that have been more talented than certain guys, but they've gone in there. But the other guy was more hungry, more determined. He wanted it more. I'll give you an example. Lee Selby and Josh Warrington. I know that was world level, and that was for a title, world title. But for me, Lee Selby had the ingredients of being a great fighter. However, Josh Warrington, who I don't believe is as skillful, and most people looked at it like that. Most people thought that Lee Selby would school Josh Warrington. However, what I saw when they fought was a guy that was more hungry, more determined, that wanted it more. And he beat Lee Selby. And for me, Conor Benn and Josh Kelly, that could be a similar type of fight, a similar kind of outcome. I think we'll be favouring Josh Kelly, and I expect Josh Kelly to win. Josh Warrington's obviously gone on to become a much better fighter than most people thought he would. However, I don't think you can sleep on Conor Benn just because of the things that I've mentioned earlier. I think Conor Benn is hungry, man. He's hungry. And like I said, I think the fact that he's been given everything on a plate in the sense that, he's born rich, his dad was a star, and I feel that in itself, he's showing a lot of hunger, a lot of determination. He wants to do this. He wants to get out of bed and go for those hard spars. He doesn't need to. He could live a luxurious life in Australia if he wanted to, but he wants to stay away from his family. He wants to be a great fighter. He wants to put in the work. He wants to create his own name. So you got to respect that. You got to respect that. And I think Conor Benn is not one to be overlooked. I think he can definitely... be a tough fight for Josh Kelly. I do. In terms of, Sky Sports saying that can he be the next Amir Khan or Kell Brook, I don't even like making, I know they're trying to promote Conor Benn and they're trying to promote him, but I think that's a long, long way away. Khan was a former unified, not a welterweight, but 140-pound champion, and even Khan had some great wins at welterweight as well. I know he never became a world champion at welterweight, but, he beat some really, really good names. He beat names that were world champions at welterweights like Devon Alexander, Collazo, Julio Diaz was a lightweight. Devon Alexander and Collazo were former world champions at welterweight. So, he beat some really, really good men even at welterweight. Kell Brook beat Sean Porter, of course, who was a great fighter in itself. So I think Conor Benn could potentially have a career like Kell Brook, where I don't think he's as talented as Kell Brook, but he could definitely go on to maybe beat a world champion potentially like Kell Brook did. Like I said, I don't think Conor Benn's as talented so far from what we've seen. Kell Brook from the early get-go was very talented, and you could see natural talent. And same with Amir Khan. These guys from the start of their careers, you could see that they were talented, especially Khan. Khan went through, I know he got knocked out to Prescott, but you could clearly see that this guy had something. He had an X factor. His hand speed, his movement, his legs were brilliant. Yes, people will talk about his chin, but Amir Khan proved at world level. He beat many world champions, former world champions. And I think to compare Conor Benn to them, it's too early. You can't say. He's tough, he's hungry, he's determined, he's got the work ethic, yes. But those things at world level don't necessarily just get you through. Just because you're hungry, determined, there's a lot of things at world level, your talent, your skill, your ability. Because at welterweight right now, there's some real killers there. And Terence Crawford, Spence, these are guys that are going to be there for a while. And then the guys, remember, at welterweight, there's kids like Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. They're there as well. There's some real good talent coming through in America. So I think Conor Benn's going to have his work cut out, because I don't think he's as good. I don't think any of the British guys are as good as Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. I think they're special. So I think, like I said, there's some real talent coming through. And Virgil Ortiz has already beat the crap out of Samuel Vargas. And for me, he's not far away from a world title crack. And so I think Conor Benn's going to have somebody like that to deal with when he gets to world level. And that's going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult, But again, let's not look too far ahead. He's miles away from that yet. He's still at domestic. He's not even at European. He's still at domestic level yet. So, let him fight Josh Kelly. And the winner will probably go on to kick on to world level or to fringe world level. I think first you've got to, if they can't get the Kelly fight, maybe you Samuel Vargas. That's a good fight. That might be a bit too early, but still, I think that, these type of fights where I think Conor Benn will do well in fights like that. But yeah, I think Ben's definitely improving. He's definitely an improving fighter. And one thing I like about him is he's hungry, his work ethic. The fact that he's improving shows that he's putting in a lot of hard work, and you got to respect that, because, like he said, he's a son. He's the son of a superstar fighter from the UK. So the fact that he's got that hunger, determination, and the work ethic, you got to respect that. You gotta respect that. But like I said, at world level, world elite level, that necessarily doesn't always get you through. But a fight with him and Kelly, I'm looking for that. I'm looking forward to that one. That will be a great fight. I think that's the kind of fight that we, as British fight fans, can get excited about. It's a great domestic fight. Great domestic fight. I think it's a fight that we would all be interested in watching. A fight that I favor Josh Kelly, but again, because of the reasons I mentioned earlier, it's not, you can't sleep on Conor Benn. You can't sleep on Conor Benn, because I do think someone like Conor Benn stylistically could cause Josh Kelly a lot of trouble, just because I feel like Conor Benn can, I think he'll fight, you know how like Porter does. He just won't give Josh Kelly the time and the distance for Josh Kelly to do what he does. He'll make it a horrible, awkward fight. I still expect Josh Kelly to make adjustments and win. But again, like I said, you can't sleep on Conor Benn. So it's interesting. What do you guys think? Who would you like to see Conor Benn fight? What do you think of his performance against Formella? Who do you want to see Conor Benn fight next? Do you think Conor Benn beats or can go on to become a world champion? What do you guys think? Where do you think Conor Benn's ceiling is? How good do you think he'll be? You know, and we can't really tell, just because we need to see him in there with more credible guys. This was definitely a step up, and a step that he passed with flying colors. But again, there's going to be tougher tests. Josh Kelly's a very, very tough test. Like I said, he's got that Olympic pedigree. He's skillful. He's got reflexes. He's got great head movement. He's a tough fight. You know, if Ben can beat Kelly, that takes him through. Take him onto another level. You know, but again, he would probably go into the fight as an underdog in that one. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts, guys. Make sure to smash the like button. It really helps my channel, really helps the algorithm. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of his performance. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.